Yas and Dom. Yas and Dom. Yas and Dom. Yeah, okay, just get it together for a minute. Jeez. Yas and Dom. I just keep saying that. Rye Lane is a unique, what's wrong? Frequent cuts and crackling dialogue. And of course, oh, did they hear that? I was like, there it is, baby. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. It's like, what did it do? Hey film friends, I'm Nick Furman. This is Furman On Film. Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we'll be reviewing Rye Lane. If you're new to the channel, here's our format. We'll start off with a quick synopsis, then talk about some likes and dislikes, before concluding with a bit of deeper analysis on some of the themes and some of my own original thoughts on the film. For those of you who've been here before and know the deal, feel free to skip around and use the timestamps in the description below. And of course, as always, please stick around to the end to get our FOF rating out of 5 stars. Without further ado, this is Rye Lane. Yas and Dom, two 20-somethings reeling from bad breakups, connect over the course of a single eventful day in South London, helping each other deal with their nightmare exes and potentially restoring their faith in romance in the process. All right, let's start with what I liked about Rye Lane. Now look, everyone knows that it's probably pretty easy to make a derivative picture. I mean, not that film production is ever easy. And I would think it's far more difficult to pen an original story. But just maybe it's exquisitely hard to hit that perfect middle, to work within the conventions of a genre almost beat by beat, and yet do something altogether new. But that's exactly what Rye Lane pulls off. It's like Before Sunrise, only in South London with black stars and righteous regional dialect, filtered through the visual fireworks and kinetic fervor of Amelie. It also features one of the more interesting meet-cutes ever captured on celluloid, a gender-neutral restroom at an art exhibit where Dom is openly weeping about an ex. What else? Well, the writing here is just brilliant. Extremely snappy and sharp dialogue bring genuine laughs. There are so many one-liners that are actually funny. Yeah, I know. Imagine that. Kind of hard after Your Place or Mine and Somebody I Used to Know from earlier this year. We won't be reviewing those. The line readings are quick and staccato. But what is so seamless is that the visual language of the film matches the writing. Quick edits, recurring gags, use of a split diopter lens in places to make half the screen appear larger and closer than the other in the same frame. Several shots run with these fisheye lens as well. And then there are just bright tones everywhere you look in the film. The mise-en-scene just runs the full color spectrum. There are memorable and seamless soundtrack insertions.
Hey, yeah, I wanna shoot, baby, shoot.
Let's freaking go. So the overarching effect of all the dialect and visuals and wordplay is that the entire picture is just shot through with all of these cultural touchstones. It feels lived in. But none of this matters if you don't get one thing right in a rom-com: the acting and chemistry of the leads. We're talking Hanks and Ryan here, Gere and Roberts. Unfortunately for us, David Jonsson and Vivian Oparah join that group in this one. Jonsson's really the soul of the film, our heart-on-the-sleeve emoter. But his transformation as the film goes on and growing boldness under Yaz's tutelage is quite effective. And Yas? Well, she's all spunk and guts. She's responsible for many of the film's lighter moments. Together, they have a pretty hypnotic connection, and their charisma actually bleeds over the edges of the frame. Finally, what blew me away the most is this balance of cheeky charm and loads of human empathy. The director continually makes the choice to forego melodrama, instead painting the film's landscape with the awkwardness of new encounters. Needless to say, pulling that off was really unexpected to me. Okay, let's move on to some of my dislikes. Well, you can probably guess from above, there's not a whole lot I hated here. Sure, you could say that Rye Lane suffers from some of the more common formulaic bits. It's not all new. The stranger who swoops in to rescue someone on a date bit has been done before. So has spontaneous but remarkably memorable karaoke moments as well. You'll also kind of know where the story is going long before you reach your destination, but it's still uniquely arranged. Not many romantic comedies peddle their wages in awkward cookout scenes and bungled breaking and entering, for instance. And I've also heard a few people say that they don't believe Vivian Oparah can reach the emotional registers that Jonsson does. And I'm actually curious if any of you have any thoughts on this. For my own part, I thought a lot of that was in the writing and what her character arc entails. And when it came down to it, yeah, she may have lacked some of his subtlety, but she still packs a wallop in the finale. Finally, look, this film tops off at about 77 minutes. I can't believe I'm saying this, but part of me loved hanging out with them so much that I wished we just had about 15 minutes more. But then again, everything kind of winds up nicely, and there's not an ounce of fat on this whole production. Okay, let's touch on some of my own original thoughts briefly. I think it's time we mention the director and a few more performances here. When you consider that this is the work of a first-time director, Raine Allen-Miller, it's a pretty stunning achievement. We've discussed the two principals, but the rest of the film is populated with these bit parts that just really ring true to the human experience. Oh, and there's a pretty sick Colin Firth cameo for a few moments too. Rye Lane made waves at the Sundance Film Festival this year, and based on all of the above, I'd say it's for good reason. And ultimately, I just want to say, let's be honest, Low End Theory is worth this kind of runaround.
Back in the days when I was a teenager, before I had status and before I had a pager.
So what do we conclude? Rye Lane is a unique work, one with kinetic energy, frequent cuts, and crackling dialogue. A picture that doesn't really do much new, and yet feels entirely of this time. And one that expertly balances real momentum and aesthetic flashes with tender-hearted humanness. Well, there you have it. The only thing left to discuss is our rating for this film. FOF gives Rye Lane 4.2 out of 5 stars. If you enjoyed this review, please let us know by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel. You can also hit that little bell so you get notified each time we release a new video. And we'd like to hear from you. Where does this one stack up amongst your rom-com favorites? Let us know in the comments below. Also, please don't forget to head on over to FurmanOnFilm.com where you can get your movie fix on written reviews, deep dives, and so much more. Thanks for watching. I'm Nick Furman. This is Furman on Film. Stay firm, my friends.